12 hostile echoes, direct collision vector, speed 30 knots, 47 seconds. That was all that separated the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer from an impact that would have shaken the entire world's oil markets before dawn.
In the Combat Information Center, the silence became electric. Tactical officers watched as the red icons
what seemed like a reckless incursion by IRGC fast boats.
They didn't know they had just activated something the Pentagon had been keeping in the shadows for years.
A multi-domain response.
What really happened in those 38 seconds that decided the fate of 20% of the world's oil? Settle in. In its own nest. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a geographic bottleneck. It is the jugular artery of the global of dollars in liquid energy that keep economies alive from Tokyo to Berlin. Under a previous US administration, this artery became the scene. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a geographic bottleneck. It is the jugular artery of the global economy. Through its barely 33 kilometers of width flows every day 20% of the world's oil. Trillions of dollars in liquid energy that keep economies alive, from Tokyo to Berlin. Under a previous US administration, this artery became the scene of a brutal strategic calculus. Economic sanctions had tightened the financial noose around Tehran's neck until leaving it almost without air. The Iranian Ghost Fleet, that swam AIS to smuggle crude in the gray zone, was the only vent left to the regime, and the US Navy had converted the strait into an impenetrable wall of steel.
They needed a play that would break the blockade, humiliate the giant, and restore regional respect. They needed a perfect asymmetric warfare playbook, and
they thought they had it. For months, the coastal batteries of Bandar Abbas had been reinforced with Russian and Chinese jamming technology. Anti-ship missiles, an upgraded variant of the Chinese 802, capable of flying at Mach 0.9, skimming the surface of the sea, waited in fixed launchers on Qeshm Island. Tehran was convinced of one thing. They had designed a saturation killbox in fixed launchers on Qeshm Island. Tehran was convinced of one thing. They had designed a saturation killbox so dense, so multi-layered, that not even the Aegis system from Lockheed Martin, the digital brain of the US Navy, could process so many simultaneous threats. That night, they planned to prove it. The board was ready. Hot sensors, 0405 hours, the silence.
Of the strait was shattered by the roar of diesel engines at full power. 12 IRGC fast boats led by
Ghadir-class vessels armed with rockets and heavy machine guns surged from the darkness of the Iranian coast. Speed 30 knots. Armed with rockets and heavy machine guns emerged from the darkness of the Iranian coast. Speed 30 knots, direct vector to the hull of the USS Spruance. And then they executed their first trick. They turned off their real AIS signals and transmitted false identities, posing as neutral merchant ships flying the Omani flag. A calculated move to force the Aegis system to doubt, to inject noise into the American kill chain. Warnings via Link 16 were met with a glacial silence. No acknowledgement of receipt, no change of course.
"4 minutes to enter the kill zone."
But this wasn't chess in open waters, it was poker. While the bridge crew watched the surface swarm, the Aegis combat system, that godbrain from Lockheed Martin that processes thousands of tracks per second, fired an independent red alert. The real threat was not in the water, it was in the sky. 40 minutes earlier, mobile launchers hidden on the Musandam Peninsula had released a swarm of Shahed 136, Iranian suicide drones, barely $20,000 per unit, flying less than 30 meters above the waves to evade radar. But the Spruance was not alone. At 25,000 feet of altitude, an E-2D Advanced Hawkeye from Northrop Grumman, taken off from the USS Abraham Lincoln, capable of detecting targets at 550 kilometers. The Hawkeye filtered the ghost signals and transmitted target data in real time to the destroyer. 0415 hours. 4 FA-18E Super Hornets from Boeing, catapulted from the deck of the Lincoln 90 seconds earlier, fell upon the combat zone. Their APG-79 AESA radars from Raytheon gave them absolute tactical awareness. It turned out to be barely the appetizer. If you were the commander of the Spruance at this instant, what would you do? A. Aggressively pursue the fast boats to neutralize them. Or B. Maintain defensive formation and wait for the next layer of the trap. Comment below.
0419 hours. Just as the last Shahed sank smoking into the water.
Tehran activated the true trap! From the coastal bases of Bandar Abbas!
Rose a colossal electromagnetic wall, a high-power jamming system repowered with Russian and Chinese technology, designed specifically to blind the Aegis. And under the cover of that wall came the stab. 6 anti-ship Noor missiles, an Iranian variant of the Chinese 802, were fired from fixed launchers on Qeshm Island. Speed Mach 0.9, flight altitude barely centimeters over the crest of the waves. Sea skimming pure, the worst scenario for any destroyer. In the combat center of the Spruance, the Aegis screens began to flicker like televisions in a storm. The critical links with the Hawkeye were cut by massive electromagnetic interference. Countdown, 180 seconds.
With 6 warheads converging on its hull. The situation went from bad to catastrophic in less than a breath.
But the Iranians had forgotten one detail. The US Navy doesn't fight with platforms. It fights with a system of systems. 0421 hours. From the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln, an EA-18G Growler from Boeing roared north with its engines in afterburner. This is no ordinary aircraft. It is the digital god of war of the Pentagon, the only naval fighter in the world dedicated exclusively to electronic warfare. The pilot of the Growler activated the lethal combination, the ALQ-99 pods from Raytheon, together with the new next-generation jammer midband.
Instead of defensive jamming, it executed a counter-offensive of cognitive electronic warfare, a type of intelligent jamming
that learns and adapts its signals in real time to perforate enemy frequencies like a laser scalpel cuts gelatin.
The Iranians tried to blind the giant. The giant simply blinded the blinder.
0423 hours. With the links re-established, the 2 remaining Super Hornets fired a salvo of AM-120 AMRAAM missiles against the incoming Noors. 3 Iranian missiles disintegrated at 25 kilometers. 2 more were diverted by electronic decoys from the Growler and sank into the sea.
The 6th, the closest one, pierced the outer cordon at 500 yards from the Spruance. Just the Phalanx CIWS from Raytheon woke up. That 20mm Gatling gun, a weapon that fires 4,500 tungsten projectiles per minute, disintegrated it into a cloud of incandescent scrap.
04 versus in 24 hours. 38 seconds. That's how long the aerial hell lasted.
Do you believe in the coordinated power of the US Navy? If so, comment 1 below. 0435 hours. The adrenaline of the aerial combat had not yet dissipated when a new threat emerged from the liquid blackness. While the Americans looked at the sky, Tehran had been waiting for this exact moment under the surface. Hidden for more than 48 hours in the treacherous 25-meter deep waters of the strait is a Ghadir-class mini-submarine. A silent predator built by Marine Industries Organization began to eliminate all acoustic signature. The Ghadir was practically invisible to the Spruance's conventional sonar. 0438 hours. The Ghadir ascended to periscope depth for barely 30 seconds, just enough to calculate its firing solution. It released a deadly cocktail.
0440 hours. A P-8A Poseidon from Boeing, patrolling from the Al Dhafra airbase in Emirates, detected the periscope breaking. Simultaneously, an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter from Sikorsky took off from the Spruance and deployed its variable depth sonar.
And then, the unexpected. Emerging silently from a deep trench appeared the Orca XL-UUV from Boeing. The Orca transmitted coordinates of surgical precision to the Seahawk. Without a second of doubt, the pilot dropped a Mark 54 light torpedo. 2 minutes and 12 seconds later, the Ghadir was a steel tomb at the bottom of the strait. The hunters had become prey, and they didn't even realize it until the last second. 0450 hours. Tehran had played all its cards. The suicide drones burned on the water. The Noor missiles were floating scrap. Their Phantom submarine rested at the bottom of the strait. But the US Navy had not yet finished. It was time to rewrite the ending.
On the bridge of the USS Spruance, the commander pronounced the order with a voice of ice.
The 18 Growler returned to the attack. This time, it wasn't defensive jamming.
It was electronic warfare on a strategic scale. The pilot activated the maximum power of the next-generation jammer. And the result was apocalyptic for Iran. All the coastal radars from Bandar Abbas to the island of Qeshm went blind.
Land-to-ship communications were reduced to meaningless static. The Iranian electronic wall was not perforated, it was pulverized. With the Iranian electromagnetic spectrum completely lobotomized, the Aegis of the Spruance returned to full automatic mode. 05 lock hours. In the Gulf of Oman, the USS Abraham Lincoln initiated maximum launches. The stillness of the dawn was shattered by the roar of F-35C Lightning II and Super Hornets taking off in waves. Total air superiority materialized in less than 10 minutes over the strait.
For the IRGCN commanders observing from Bandar Abbas, the moment of realization was brutal.
Their command screens were in black. Their missiles evaporated. Their submarine disappeared. And over their heads, fifth-generation stealth fighters that they couldn't even detect. 05:15 hours. They ordered a chaotic retreat. The surviving fast boats fled in disorder toward Iranian territorial waters, leaving behind only carbonized debris and a shattered reputation. The pride of the Persian fleet was destroyed by the crushing
Technology of the West. They showed their cards, and the US Navy showed them a royal flush.
05:18 hours. On the Spruance, the alert levels were lowered. For the world, it was a 47-minute crisis that could have triggered a global war. For the crew of the General Dynamics destroyer,
It was just another Tuesday. Note: this scenario is an analytical recreation for educational purposes about real document.
11 Shahed 136 drones disintegrated, 6 anti-ship missiles converted into scrap, 1 Ghadir-class mini-submarine sunk with its entire crew.
3 IRGCN fast boats damaged in the retreat. The coastal jamming capacity of Bandar Abbas completely neutralized for at least 72 hours. Estimated economic loss
Exceeding $180 million.
American balance. 0 casualties. 0 impacts. Not a single scratch on the hull of the Spruance.
munition consumed. Approximately $14 million in SM-2 interceptors, AMRAAM, and 1 Mark 54 torpedo. The calculation of the strategic ROI is brutal. For every dollar spent on defense, the United States inflicted more than $12 of damage. But the true return is not measured in coins,
but in deterrence.
Tehran has just learned in real time that the Strait of Hormuz is not a board,
where they can play cat and mouse with the US Navy. Individual platforms win skirmishes. Only a system of systems wins wars. The Aegis, the Hawkeye, the Growler, the Poseidon, the Seahawk, and the Orca XLUUV. They are not 6 separate weapons. They are 6 fingers of the same iron hand. Will this provoke a bolder response from Tehran?
Or will they accept, humiliated, the new rules of the game?
The chessboard of the Persian Gulf never sleeps.
And the Eagle doesn't either. If you are proud of the men and women in uniform of the US Navy, leave a like right now.
Hormuz is ours.
If you want a second part about the secret technologies inside the Orca XLUUV,
subscribe and activate the bell to not miss the next tactical analysis. The sensors are active, the board is ready. Stay alert and don't lose sight of the horizon. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next deck.
Yeah!
Cruising the strait at sunset, the USS Spruance maintains its vigilant watch, projecting power across the open ocean. With unmatched tactical dominance, the guided missile destroyer maintains the watch, a symbol of unwavering resolve.